I have wanted to play the Sly series for a decent amount of time now. I do really like the Ratchet and Clank series, and I thought I might as well check out the other two of the PlayStation platformer trio, is what the three of them are called, at least by the fans. And so I thought I might as well make a video talking about my experiences with the game and how I liked it. So yeah, here's my unscripted thoughts on the game with a few notes I took. On the story, I'm not really here to explain that, so the quick gist of it is, so basically Sly is trying to get all the pages back of the Thievius Raccoonus, and then he eventually does do that, all the while trying to avoid the police. That's basically the gist of it. I'm not really trying to explain this kind of thing in these kinds of videos, so that's the best you're gonna get. So as for the gameplay, it's actually kind of interesting. It's more like a Crash Bandicoot than Metal Gear Solid, actually. I mean, think about it. You die in one hit and you can collect things to give you 2 hit points. The level design is mostly linear, some even feeling like hallways, and you get new powers from defeating bosses. Although I will definitely say I did actually enjoy the gameplay. It's not that hard, but I wouldn't say it wasn't fun. So yeah, I think the gameplay is good, and I think the level design is usually good. I can't really name anything aside from one bit I'll mention later that I actually didn't like. Overall fun gameplay, I actually liked it quite a bit. So now let's move on to talk about the first world.
Water levels. That's something no one wants to see.
I think it's a pretty good one, actually. It's got a pretty interesting theme, and I'd say it executes a lot of its ideas pretty well. Heck, I don't even think the minigame level is that bad. The boss against Raleigh, though, is not great. It's not horrible, but it's just kind of boring, and honestly, it does kind of set the tone for almost all of the bosses in this game, so yeah. I don't really have anything else to say, so let's move on to World 2.
Biceps.
As for World 2, I actually do like this level's theme quite a bit as well. The racing level is okay, it's not great, but I also wouldn't say it's frustrating. I also say the chase level is actually pretty fun. I kinda wish there were more of these. Although I can't be the only one to notice that Carmelita's model is weirdly scaled. Like, if you look at the second one in World 4, like, she's standing next to a safe, and it almost looks like she's bigger than it, and when I'm standing next to it, I am definitely not bigger than it. And we see in the final cutscene that she's not even that much taller than Sly, so why does her model look so big? I can't be the only one who noticed that, right? And as for the boss, it's way more frustrating. I'd honestly call it worse. Like, you have to hit mirrors to hit him with light rays, like, okay, that's not something I think of when I think Gunslinger boss, but okay, but the way it's designed just makes it frustrating. It's not great. World 3.
Feel the power of my magic.
Right off the bat, I think this is a great theme executed well. The atmosphere of this place looks great. I also think that minigame where you're on like a hovercraft thing when you're shooting, I don't remember what it's called, that's a problem for future me. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. The chicken minigame sucks though, it's annoying. As for the boss, it's just the worst one in the game. Like, it's so annoying. It just feels so unresponsive, which, granted, is probably a problem with the HD collection, but that doesn't make it any less annoying. Especially with the fact they have to do all 3 phases over again if you die. So, yeah, that's annoying. Also, why does it start with a platforming segment? It has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the boss, and it's never mentioned again, so what's the point? Because you know I've just made the whole boss the rhythm minigame, or the whole boss a platforming challenge? Like, can you just pick one and stick with it? Yeah, I don't like this boss. If I wanted to play a rhythm game, I just pop in Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy. World 4.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again?
I also think this is the most unique theme. I honestly haven't seen much like it. It's pretty interesting to theme a whole world around fireworks. The minigames are reused, and I don't think they're better or worse than they were before, so yeah. And I completely forgot to mention the turret minigame with Murray. Yeah, I don't like it. It's not fun. And as for the boss, oh wow, it's actually fun. Like, is it easier than the others? Yeah, but I'd rather have something fun than hard. You don't have to be hard to be fun. Or good. So yeah, for once the world actually goes out on a high note than a low note. And as for the final world, Since almost every level there is a different gameplay style, and I have something to say about each one, I'm going to talk about that level by level. So, yeah, Final World. So we start off with a rail shooter for some reason. It's alright. It's not bad, it's not good, it's fine. Driving the van over the computers is fine, it's not worth talking about that much. Then we go into platforming and trying to save Carmelita, and it's kind of frustrating, honestly. Like, it just feels like the developers just put random obstacles and made a small mini level out of that. It's a mess. Like, could you just take away one spotlight, please? Like, what am I supposed to do here? How am I supposed to not get caught doing this? Then we move on to the twin stick shooter with Bentley hacking, and it's bad. It's frustrating. There's just so much you have to worry about, and it makes it not fun at all. Then we move on to another turret section like Murray's, and it's definitely not as bad as those ones. Like, you can't insta-kill Sly by shooting it this time. Like, why was that a thing in the Murray levels? Yeah, this isn't as bad as the other ones, but it's not great either. It's just okay. Then you're climbing the Death Ray, and it's kind of weird, because, like, I like the setting and I like the idea, but it's honestly just weirdly more precise than most things in the game, and you have to start the whole thing over if you die, so while I do like the idea, it's really frustrating in execution. And then we have the final boss, and it's definitely the second best boss in the game, but once you die and have to redo the first two phases, and those feel like they take forever, it just makes it a lot less fun once you die. At least they had mercy on you and not have you repeat the dialogue, because that would have gotten annoying fast, and it would have made the fight way worse. So yeah, it's not a bad note to end on, but it's also not a really great note like some other final bosses.
Oh hey, I'm here to say that while recording I forgot to transition from World 5 to final thoughts like a stinky. Okay, enough stopping the pace for the sake of a joke.
So positives and negatives. Positive, the level design is honestly good all around. I'd honestly say there weren't any frustrating bits of platforming levels aside from that one part at the end. I'd also say the graphics look surprisingly good and they hold up pretty well. Although Sly's face looks kinda weird, like, was that always how it looked, or is that just a thing with the HD collection? I'd also say the story is surprisingly well executed. I actually liked it quite a bit. And I'd honestly say I enjoyed collecting stuff. The glue bottles and the new power-ups, they were pretty neat. It was neat seeing what I'd get next after collecting all the glue bottles, which I'd honestly say was fun. And as for the negatives, well, the powers I'm collecting aren't really all that useful. Like, collecting clue balls is fun, and getting to see what you get out of the saves is nice, but I kinda just forgot about most of them. Like, I understand you have to make it so the game is completely beatable without any of them aside from the ones you get from bosses, but even then, most of the ones I got from bosses I didn't really use much aside from the invisibility. I honestly think they could have made the power-ups a lot better. Even the one you can't get until after you beat Clockwork is just meh. And why can't I switch to a different power when they're frozen? Like, what's the point if you can't do anything other than hit them? Like, just go invisible and hit them at that point. There's almost no reason to use it. And as I mentioned before, the bosses just kinda suck. Raleigh is meh, Mugshot is annoying, Miss Ruby is absolutely atrocious, Candy Cane is actually fun, and Clockwork, while fun the first time, when you die and have to redo the whole thing, it's just annoying and it takes longer than it should. And also, the Master Thief sprints are not fun. Like, they just feel way more strict than they should be. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have less than 1 second left when I actually beat them. Heck, I honestly just resorted to speedrun tactics for most of these. Because yes, I did look up speedrun tactics just so I could beat some of these. And honestly, while the reward is cool, I don't really know if I'd call it worth it considering how difficult they are. But honestly, I'd still say I enjoyed the game quite a bit. Like, sure, it's rough around the edges, but I still had a good time while playing it, and I am excited to play the sequel. So yeah, I honestly thought the game was pretty good. With all that being said, I don't really have an outro yet, so goodbye, have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.